We have niche product, you know. If you put sports, we have artists who are in the category of even the world standard. But we were not given an exposed. Established artists 10 years ago, people like Yusuf Ghani, they has gone into the world standard, you know. But then they do not get support from the local scene. You know, it's not that we do not want to go further into the international scene, but even local pun kadang-kadang we struggle to have the local to appreciate art the way that art, how art should be appreciated. You know, we need corporate to go into the infra is there, you know, but we need corporate to go further. What kind of corporate should go into supporting the art scene, things like that. You know? So I'm not keen to see where art is going to be for the next 10 years, because I know it's going to be taken care of. We have institution. It's just what kind of quality of artists that we're going to produce to be able to be part of the player in the art market lah, as far as the art is concerned. We need individual, independent artists to push themselves. To be honest, there are artists who already marked their name worldwide.
Yeah, that.
That is one of them. You know, a lot of artists has marked their name, but then the level is still not encouraging for us. As a collector, we used to say that artists in the contemporary level should be living like an artist in China. They are rich. Ai Weiwei, Yu Minju and all that, they are filthy rich because they get support because the community in China, the rich in China, understand the value of art. Now, they know the value of it because they were a communist country for so long.
And so they lost their culture.
They lost their culture. And when they open their policy, becomes an open policy, hundreds of the artists went to Europe and started doing show. Okay, so and their work was basically very strong work. It was issue that they went through in China. Ai Weiwei was protesting because his father was basically sent away by the government just because he keep some books, things like that. You read about it, you know. So he protests the government with an issue, with a reason. You know, that's why he sees his work is very vocal and very vulgar in terms of visual, because he have issue. But when that kind of work was released out of China and it went to abroad, it was a show in China. You have to remember the Chinese community in China, thousands of them run away from China and live in UK, live in US and become rich. They are millionaires. So when they have the opportunity to collect back what's been done by their fellow friends from the same country, they are willing to pay even 1 million or 2 million for a painting. That's why the artists are being appreciated by the locals who have been living abroad, because they want back the culture, which is through art. That's why artists in China are millionaires, because they have support from their locals who are living abroad. I was questioned by an organization called My Creative. You have heard of My Creative? Okay, My Creative is a body that was trusted by the government to give loan to art-related business. So what happened is one of the head of My Creative asked me, kata, Abang Hussein, why don't you go internationally? Go to Dubai, do a show. It's easy said than done. So true enough, the following year, he was offered to help the government to do a show in UK based on one of the summit, you know, international summit. So they want to have art-related show to be in UK, not mistaken. So he said he will take it. So what he did is he loaned some work from us, the artist, some work from the collector. I think about 20 works, 20 to 50 works to manage to show there. So when he came back and said, and he told me that you're right, it is expensive to do a show abroad. The way is not to do work here and bring the work there, because the freighting logistic to bring the work there and come back not selling it is a hectic and there's a big cost over there. So they realized when he tried to help us by doing that, and he realized it is so expensive, so then they realized that it is expensive. So what you need to do is not just producing work here and send it there to get a gallery to conduct a show, but it's to establish from young. You know, like if in UK, they don't simply buy work from any artist from anywhere part of the world if they are not established. Because as far as they're concerned, the European and the American, it is about investment. You know, what do I pay for? You know, it's not about buying a beautiful work. You know, we have attempt to do that abroad, but most of the work come back here and we have to sell it over here. You know, even I mentioned just now, Matinee did a show in LA, but they love the work, they like the whole work, but they do not know who is Matinee as far as the LA market is concerned. Why should I buy them? You know, but again, you need to establish yourself abroad, then only the local will accept you. I think that's how, whether you like it or don't, that's how it is. I think 1 or 2 artists are being established now in Japan. I have a friend by the name of Sushi Sulaiman. You know, she's been not people know her here, but she's much more established in Japan, but nobody knows about that. Unfortunately, the understanding of art is very poor. So therefore, when there's an organizer who wants to do an art competition, so most of the time the price is not attractive. We used to have a major competition like Young Contemporary Artist punya award dulu kan, so by Philip Morris and everything. We used to have that, and the reward was not big, but the recognition at that point of time was great. But unfortunately, we don't have that competition anymore. But what happened now recently, like 5 years ago, there were competition organized by Petronas. That's why I say the understanding of the public is very important. So the reward was very poor, was very bad. If you don't mind me saying it, they were a big organization, very rich organization. They organized an art competition. The first prize was a plasma TV. At the point of time, plasma TV was very expensive. Expensive pun dekat 8,000, I think 8 to 10,000 ringgit. But that was the first prize. Even Berita Harian organised a joran punya pertandingan. Anybody who get the bigger fish, you will get 100,000. It is such a big gap, you know.
Oh, that fishing competition.
The fishing competition and the joran, 100,000, you know. So it is such, to me as an artist, as a practitioner, a full time, is a big insult. But siapa nak jaga benda tu? It's whose job to make sure that art is not being depressed to that level. You know, I used to have a client who's willing to take the whole body of my work, but the negotiation, I don't mention the price, but the discount that he asked is 75% of the whole amount that was put. You know, assuming the work is 100 ringgit, they ask a discount of 75 ringgit, nak bayar 25 ringgit je. To me, it's insult. But that's how, if we don't teach our generation now to appreciate art, the next 20, 30 years generation will still think the same. That's why I say that art won't change for the next 30 years. If I live for the next 30 years, I don't think art will change. Not much, maybe just a bit lah.